A few days ago, I did come over and spruce up some of the container plants, whether it was pruning them or deadheading them, whatever. It's just to, have them look better, especially with the weather right now. We're in the middle of summer. And as you know, when you live in an environment where it's hot and humid, plants are struggling at this time of the year. So hopefully you will enjoy this tour and hopefully you will get some ideas for your own garden. There are some plants that have been here for a while now, so they're more of permanent plants, which just means that I like them where they are, not really changing much. But some of them I do try to play with different plants each year just to see how they will perform in the garden here, how they look with surrounding plants. Just all of that, just to make the grouping of containers look nicer, basically. So anyway, let's go ahead and show you while highlighting some of the container plants. And we're just going to focus on the container plants that are in the front garden here, where I do spend most of my time at. And right now it is shady, and I just love it. I crave shade in the garden here, especially in the front. As mentioned, I do spend a lot of time here, whether it's enjoying the garden or just doing gardening chores like weeding. Um, and you will see that I do have umbrellas up where the paver patio area is. So I got two yesterday, and then one was purchased maybe a week ago, and I love it. I love the look of that whole space. Well, when I say I love it, meaning that I love the shade that we are getting right now. So, yeah, if you do see it in the video, just know that they have recently been placed here in the front. So, with that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the containers. All right, let's look at these containers in this little island. We have Taro, and they are adding such nice contrasting feature to the space because they have bold texture. They actually do better in part shade or part sun. Where they are, they're getting too much sun, so they do get watered pretty regularly. When I say that, it's pretty much every day, and they soak up the water so quickly. You can see that the the leaves are drooping. They're facing down. That means that they're trying to make themselves be less hot. And I also noticed that the leaves are thicker and more firm compared to the ones in the back of the garden. For right now, they are looking beautiful. They add bold texture to the garden space. I tend to gravitate towards fine texture and medium texture plants. So when that happens, when you look from afar, they really look like the same texture, like they blend into the background really nicely. If it weren't for the colors, the difference in colors, they would pretty much look the same from afar. But having something like this really helps to make the garden pop a lot better. You take notice, or the garden becomes more interesting. The only thing of course, I don't like about it, which I already mentioned, is the fact that the leaves are vertical. They're not horizontal facing, and we know why. They just need to be in a more protected space from sun. All right, so this is just a simple container. As you know, there were other containers all around, 3 other containers with the Dragon Prince Cryptomeria, but they got too hot, so they had to be moved. So this container was sitting here for a good while, and I was thinking what to put in here. So I just decided to go ahead and put in a Gaura. So transplanted this Gaura and wasn't sure how it was going to do, because Gaura, when it's big like this, it's harder to transplant. So I made sure that I got a lot of the roots, and the container is tall enough to accommodate its root system, because it does have a tap root. So you can see that we may be getting some blooms later. So I'm looking forward to seeing the blooms. Had to stay on top of watering at least the first 2 weeks. So this is just a simple container. I think a few days ago, I can't remember the exact day, but this week purchased these. They're called Cordylines, on sale at Walmart for $5 each. And I had never seen Cordylline looking like that. Usually the leaves are more of a fine texture, but these are more bold texture. And I was just thinking that it might work really well over here. Very easy, did not even plant them, just place them in the containers like that. So we're gonna take these out, and you can see what this space looks like without the Cordylines. So here are the 3 containers without the Cordylline. Still looks nice, but it doesn't pack that punch, right? It doesn't elevate it to the next level of design interest, you can say it that way. You can see just by adding one plant, a vertical interest plant, how it can elevate this whole space. Let's put them back. I may not place them in the correct orientation like they were in before, but I'll try my best. I might need to play around to make sure it's in the nice orientation that they were in before. So you can see that by doing this, it helps to make this space better, right? Or some of you might think it looks busy. I personally love it, and I think it just adds interest to this overall grouping of the containers. And you know, there's no commitment. You saw that they were not planted in the containers, so they are easily movable. Now let's move to this container. This one I'm not very happy about because of how the Dianthuses have been performing. So had to cut these back, dead-headed, and this is what it's looking like right now. It doesn't look bad. And I have to say that I'm not very impressed with the blooms, because they don't all bloom at one time, not very reliable. Now, it could also mean that I don't know how to take care of this plant like I should as well. So if you know of how I could get repeating blooms, like all at the same time, and how to make the plant looks, or how to make the plant look so much better overall, please let me know. This one had to be cut down. This is a Dianthus species. Had to be cut down, and it is flushing back. But yeah, it was just looking not very good. It produces white flowers. But the 2 plants that I like right now are still the Dusty Millers, and this is I don't know the variety of this coleus, but it has put on good growth. So it started off as like 1 stem plants. I don't know if there's more than one. I think maybe there is more than one, and look at it now. That is Calibrachoas. looking good, but I don't think it's gonna be blooming this year at all. So, as you can see, there's a bare spot. So, had to, prune a lot of the fern here, this fern back. It was just a lot of leaf scorching, and I can understand that because it is summer and we're in the middle of summer, and this is a fern. At some point it's gonna be crashing out, not happy with too much sun over here. And this area does get a good number of hours of sun. This one was pruned back a while ago and it has come back really nicely. I just love this white begonia a lot. And of course, the Hosta, not looking bad. There used to be a bleeding heart over there, so it has died back for the season already. I think there's another Dusty Miller somewhere in the wrong spot, probably. It's not doing well. So this is the geranium. It's not doing really good at all, and I don't think it's going to last for until the next season. So more likely it's just going to die for the winter, even if it gets brought back into the garage for overwintering. I want to say this is Touch of Gold Holly. So in the winter, went through one winter with it over here. Oops, the plant tag is, Touch of Gold Holly. So when we get more sunlight, it turns yellow like this. Then in the winter, when we get less sunlight, it goes back to being green. So I do not mind it at all. I kind of love it. And this year it has put on so much growth, so much with growth. I love it. And this weeping Japanese maple has put on good growth as well. I know it's not enjoying the sun as much right now. Later on it's going to turn yellow for the fall. So I think it's had enough of this summer. What I'm impressed with are these guys. The sedums, well, I should say the succulents here. They have performed so well, so impressed. Except for this one. Now this one was on the front porch. So somehow I think it just got too wet and maybe not enough sunlight for it. So this one died back. So this is the only container that is not looking good compared to the other ones. And the other ones were all sitting here all this time. Look at all these. Look at all these babies. They're getting more sun right now, so they could use less sunlight. These need to be divided. But look how crazy nice that looks. For the first time, I feel like I'm more successful with growing these hens and chicks, these sempervivums. This is John Creech. It is getting more sun right now. Before we get all the heat, it was looking so green and lush. You can see that you can't even see some of the rocks. And it is ready to be divided again. So I think this overall is so pretty. The last garden tour of containers, you saw that these guys are really small. Now they have put on some good size, transplanted some sempervivums to this container, and they're looking really good. This is Calibrachoas. So nice. Would like to show you a new to me plant. This is Lamondra. Have not ever grown this before. I was actually looking for a different plant to put here because the two containers that were here originally, they are now in the garden that I volunteered at called Miner's Gold, Lamondra. And I've heard people like this this Lamondra a lot, so wanted to give it a try. I don't know if it's a type of Carex. I should know that, right? But it just says Lamondra. Maybe it's not a Carex. So far, it is looking beautiful. All right, so here's a plant tag. You see that? It says no pruning needed, which is really nice. So it's only hardy to zones 8 to 10. Full sun to part sun. So where it's at, I would consider it part sun. Looking forward to seeing how this plant perform in my garden. All right, so I have to show you these two containers that were discussed at the last garden tour of containers. So this was a mixture of different Calibrachoa, and as you can see, it is not doing good. I did prune a lot of the dead stems and leaves back. So these are the new leaves. Hopefully we will get some blooms. Looks like we will. It just doesn't look as full, but it's still doing good. Now let's look at the fuchsia. I did see a hummingbird here just a few days ago. So look at this. I'm so impressed because this was overwintered in the garage. And it's not as full as the original plant that was purchased last year. But nevertheless, it is looking so pretty. It's looking very much thriving, producing many, many blooms already. So this is one of the container plants that I am very impressed with, and just been enjoying the blooms. And as an added bonus, did not have to buy a fuchsia this year. I just love it. So Camellia season is approaching soon. These guys have gone through setback because of the winter we've had. This one, I don't see it flushing back all that much, but I did see new leaves coming out. So this is exciting. This is the one that got the most dieback. So I'm so glad that both of these are still alive. I don't expect them to produce any blooms for this season, or like next season, but that's okay. They went through a lot of stress, and it's just nice to still see them living right now. This one, I really need to put it in a new container. My thinking is that it might be pretty, both of these might be pretty root bound, but we don't know for sure. I just need to rejuvenate it or something like that, because if I don't, they might not make it through another winter if we do have like a bad freeze during March like we did this year. This is Kimberly Queen Fern. You can see it's on the yellow side because it is getting too much sun. So Even though it's getting too much sun, it's still looking really good. Still looking really good. And it brightens up this area, because if you're standing from, like from afar, it's nice to have this light up this space so you could see the Japanese maple in the back. And recently added this Cordylline because just thought this space needed something bold, something this color. The Fern I would consider bold texture as well, just because of how the leaves look together. This just adds another bold texture, and it adds color to this space. All right, let's look at this grouping of containers. This container is housing this Gardenia that I'm trying to turn it into a small tree. So it's doing pretty good. And the plant itself is doing really good. It does provide some shade protection to this hosta at some point. Not completely, but something is better than nothing. So just imagine this getting bigger. It's going to help this hosta out a lot. The lemongrass is supposed to do the same thing with its taller height. It's supposed to help with shading the gardenia and then the surrounding plants. So right now it is still small, so it's not doing a good job. Last year it did do a great job. So hoping that lemongrass will get bigger very fast, but not counting on it, just the way that it's looking right now. I don't think I have a lot of container plants, but I think I have enough to play with, to experiment with, all the good stuff. So I will say that if you want to do container plants or a container garden and you are new to gardening, make sure that your containers are close to the water source, which just means that they have to be somewhere where you can see them, where you can water them very fast, very readily. Otherwise, they get missed, because I have had experience in the past where I would put containers so far away that I would forget. They would not get watered on a regular basis, and they would struggle. I would struggle being in the sun, all that crazy stuff. So please learn from my experience and my mistakes. Yes, I can feel the nice cool breeze. Thank you. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you found some of it helpful. If you don't mind, please let me know how your container plants are doing this year and how they're doing at this time of the season. Are you able to grow the plants that you have wanted to grow in your containers? Anyway, yeah, please tell me anything you would like to share. If you are a new viewer, thank you for watching this one, and welcome to my channel. My name is Terry. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you for coming back. And with that, thank you so much for watching this video again, and until the next one, I hope you take care. Bye for now.